Hello there, my name's Dale Metra. Welcome to the video. This is another review. It's on the Bachmann Diesel that I've just got in the HO range, Thomas Tank Engine range, let's say the Bachmann do. And I think it's fair to say that Diesel is one of my favourite diesel locomotives. He was obviously the first diesel engine to come to the island of Sodor. Another one that I quite like is Rusty, which is the narrow gauge diesel that they're bringing out this year. As I said, this is on a diesel. Anyway, please enjoy and thanks for watching. So here we have the Bachmann Diesel in the Thomas the Tank Engine range that I said I was going to review today. Overall, I think this is a very good model of diesel. It looks just like he does in the CGI series of the show. However, there are a few things wrong with the model. First off, which is one that you can probably obviously see, is the buffers. The bit behind his buffer is black when it should actually be red, and then the buffers themselves have been painted red. Now, I've seen other promotional images of this Bachmann Diesel, and I have seen this Bachmann Diesel for sale at other shows. And that's something that's never happened before. However, mine seems to be one that is like that, and from what I've gathered, there are a lot more out that have been produced like that. I got this one from a different shop. Most of them I normally get from a shop called Tootly Thomas, as I've discussed before, but I got this one from somewhere else on the internet. And anyway, so yeah, they've painted the buffers the wrong colour. And with some engines, like Spencer, who I've got in the Hornby range, Spencer, as you know, actually has silver wheels, like him, like his actual main paintwork. However, in the Hornby range, they painted them black. But I actually thought they looked really good on Spencer. And it's not very often I say that when they've given them the wrong colours that they look better. But Spencer, I thought he did, and I mean, Spencer also had black wheels in one of the feature length specials, King of the Railway, and also a video game. But yeah, but for this diesel, I don't think the buffers look quite right. But if you really, really wanted to, and it was that much of an issue, you could actually get some paint and correct it yourselves. A bit like with my Hornby Stepney and Class 40 locomotive, their buffers were black originally, and I painted them the correct silver colour, as you can see here. So yeah, that might be something I'll do another time. My other criticism is the face. They've given Diesel his nice looking face. Again, this is from the CGI series of the show. And you may also have seen in my other videos, I've got Diesel in the Hornby range. And that face that he has on there is more evil looking one, again from the model series of the show. And again, in the CGI series, Diesel does have a more evil-looking face, so I don't know why I didn't use that. Saying that, though, Bachmann have just released their catalogue, and this year they're actually supposed to be releasing Diesel in this range, in the HO scale, which is what this is, HO, with a grumpy face, and it's called Grumpy Diesel. And again, in that image, his buffer's the right colour, and I don't know why they didn't just release him with that face in the first place. He's also supposed to be coming out into the G scale range, which is the large scale one. And the only one I have in that range so far is Winston. And as I said before, I do hope to build a G scale layout in my garden when the weather gets a lot warmer. The weather's not fantastic at the minute. It's actually snowing outside as we speak. Anyway. So yeah, that was my criticism again with the face. You know, when I do these reviews, I do speak about my personal opinions on the model, sort of thing. At the same time, sort of thing, feel like I have to be critical if there is a problem. A bit like when I did my Bachmann Rosie. I like the Bachmann Rosie, and it's a very good model, runs really well. But what I found was when I picked Rosie out of the box, her sides were really not as hard as they should be, and you could squeeze them in. If I wasn't careful, I could have broke them. But this diesel is nice and firm. However, he is still quite a delicate model because of his side rods, and also he's got a brake pipe here on the front, and he's got one on the back. And again, the buffers are the wrong colour on the back as well. But on a more positive note, You've got obviously got all the grills. I mean, Diesel's only painted black with a red buffer beam. There's not much colour on Diesel. But yeah, absolutely superb model, detail-wise. And I do actually prefer the side rods and wheels on this Diesel compared to the Hornby one. The Hornby one I did like, and I did give a 10 out of 10. But I do think the side rods on this one are a lot better. When Diesel first appeared, his side rods were silver. And then from Series 6 onwards, his side rods painted black. I preferred them when they were silver like this, and I'm glad that they decided to bring them out silver. Because even though Diesel's CGI models only had the black side rods, and so this one's got the silver ones, and it's not nice. And I mean, one thing I like about watching the engines go around is the side rods moving. So I've had a little test of this Diesel, and he does run really well indeed, as you can probably see here. Again, going on to Diesel's buffer beam, in some magazine stories, his whole buffer has been black instead of red, although most of the time in the magazines it is the correct colour. So this is the packaging that the Bachmann Diesel comes in. Again, not a lot to say really. I do prefer the Hornby packaging a lot more to the Bachmann packaging because it's not that well protected. But again, just somehow I've cut around the side, and then you can just take it out, as you can see here, and then put it back together again, and all that's still sealed there. But like I said, the Hornby packaging I think is a lot better on these compared to the Bachmann ones. Obviously Hornby's different to Bachmann, but they're still technically the same because they run on the same track. Then on the back it shows you all the others you can buy, and again there's Diesel. And again, going back to the buffers are the correct colour here. So why the ones on this one aren't, I'm not too sure. Yeah, so that's the packaging for this model. Yeah, so that was my Bachmann Diesel running. As I said, I don't have an actual layout as such yet, but my plan is to hopefully in a couple of years' time or so move house. And then when I move house, I want to build an actual proper layout for my engines. But for the time being, I've got that track that I can test them on and that. And I know other people with layouts, and I can sometimes bring my trains along on there and test them on there as well. But yeah, I'm sure you'd agree from that here it runs really well indeed. And again, looking into research, the question I often get asked on some of my videos is about the radius that the model can run on. And from what I discovered, this is best on a 15 millimeter radius. So yeah, I do often get people ask that, and I mean, I don't think there's such a thing as a silly question. When I do these reviews, I do expect, people to. I don't expect people to ask me questions, but if people want to ask me questions, it's fine. Yeah, and so something I often get asked about is the radius, which people find quite interesting. I didn't think they would. But yeah, this one, according to my research, was best on a 15mm radius overall. Again, I do really like this model. So apart from the face, I do wish they'd actually given him his more evil-looking face in the first place. But saying that again, in some stories, Diesel has shown to have a good side, and he also had more innocent-looking faces in the model series of the show, and before it became CGI animated. But as I said, this is based upon his CGI animated face. Also this year in the HO range, so same as this, they're supposed to be releasing Paxton, which is another Diesel shunter. And again, there is so many Diesel shunters in Thomas now, Class 08 ones. It's a bit of a shame, really, when you think about all the different types of diesels there are, that they didn't decide to create other different types of looking diesel shunters. Really, I mean, Paxton's pretty much the same as a diesel. Obviously, there's Arian Burt as well, and a few others. But the Paxton model looks quite good, and it does look like Paxton in the CGI series of the show. I mean, Paxton was only in the CGI series, but it looks just like he does in the television series, is what I'm saying. If I had to give his model a score, obviously taking the face into account and the buffers and how it is, like I said, I do think this model looks very good. As I say, this one's more based upon what Diesel looked like in the CGI series of the show, but again, going back to the television series, television series, whereas I'd say the Hornby one was a lot more what Diesel looked like in the Railway series and a real British Class 08 shunter. And I gave the Hornby one, as you probably remember, a 10 out of 10. This one, because it wasn't 100% there, it was quite a tough one, but I decided to give it a 9 out of 10. But like I said, I do think it's a very good model, but for me, it wasn't quite there to give the 10 out of 10. But again, I definitely recommend that you get it if you haven't got it. And like I said, if you have got any questions you'd like to ask, please comment below. Yeah, and like I said, if you wanted a Diesel that was more television series based now, this is probably the model to get. Whereas if you're me, very sort of old school Thomas, then probably best get the Hornby one, although the Hornby one is discontinued. But it does look like the new Diesel, as I mentioned, they're bringing out with the grumpy looking face. It's going to be a lot better looking. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.
We've got